What up? It's at St. Lauren 57. Sober, celibate, saved. So, it's Thursday. Y'all know what time it is. I just got done with my domestic violence class. And man, I always feel so good when I'm in that class. Just like I've said before, me and these other ladies who are there have just built such a camaraderie, and we've built such a strong relationship. We have a lot of rapport with each other, and obviously we're learning about each other on a very intimate level. Like we're talking about each other's vulnerable feelings, we're talking about each other's vulnerable moments, we're talking about things going on in the home, we're talking like feelings, experiences, we're talking about like our past. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about some pretty vulnerable parts of ourselves, and I really enjoy it so much. I'm very grateful that this season of life has put that as one of my resources, because I just feel my life coming together more and more. Just all these classes and everything at St. John's, I've learned so much, and I'm finding where I belong. I'm finding what my purpose is, and I'm really starting to see the things that I've gone through in life, the things that I've done, the things I've experienced, and just the places I've been are really shaping me to be who I'm intended to be. It's allowing me to really fill the shoes that need to be filled, and I'm starting to see really where my purpose is. And the fact that I'm in a class that I can do this class, and I can also be trained and facilitate, and that's what brings me to my topic is I always just say that physical pain is so much more, it's easy to endure physical pain than it is to endure heartbreak. All my life I just wanted to be loved. All my life I just wanted a man to treat me right, to love on me, to want to be there for me, to want to protect me, to bond with me. I just wanted that for myself so bad. I just wanted to be loved, but then I also wanted a best friend in my partner. And I have most definitely been let down by almost every single man in my life, and that brought a lot of heartache. Most definitely starting with my father. Just it's crazy kind of how even in infancy how that all went about. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that I had to deal with and didn't know would affect me, between a lot of things that went on when I was a toddler and stuff. And then just the fact that I just my father did not feel he did not fill that role of a father for me. It just, what I know a father should be is not what I got. And there are definitely, there are some qualities that I got from my father that have taken me far, my social skills, the fact that I have work ethic, the fact that, the fact that I'm pretty comical. I can really step into any room and I can flow with anybody, and at any capacity, and I really can, I can walk into a room, I can read the climate, and I can be that. You know what I mean? I can talk to anybody. I can work any job. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hard worker. I'm a leader. I'm confident. All these kind of things I most definitely got from my father. And then also being not as strict as he was as a disciplinarian, as a parent. But I most definitely, you know what I'm saying? When I say no, it's no. When I say we can't afford that, we can't. But I definitely loved all my children, that's the one thing I can say is I'm a very affectionate parent, a very loving parent, and I was very present. Like, there's so many memories and things, and in a way, like, I mean, even though the time was shorter with my father growing up, he, like, his sister, my Aunt Anna, who I love to death, it was like my mother growing up, you know, like, we got to go on road trips, we got to go fishing, so, you know, the whole, like, family being important is something I learned from my father too. Family is really big on the Laudermilk side, and just like doing things like my dad would, you know, he'd come into town and, you know, relieve the other parent, and like we'd go to the car wash and we would always walk to the Jack in the Box and we'd always get tacos and an Oreo milkshake. So, you know, they're just, you know, like, forget my dad, you know, he was always the one, like, take us to like, on to the lake, the Delta, or my aunt mostly, but, you know, so, like, the outdoorsy things most definitely for my dad, too. And I definitely pride myself on being a, you know, mom who can throw a football and, you know, teach the kids to swim, you know, teach the kids to ride bikes, be outside, play, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, just be there, you know, and have a relationship with my kids, like conversation, and be interactive, you know what I mean? I mean, I might not like to play video games, and, you know, there might be times where I can't get down on the ground and pretend to be a cat, but, you know, I definitely still was a lot more interactive and present and had a relationship with my kids, and, you know, just did things with them, made memories, you know, and love to do. But also, anyways, my point is, yes, I've been, like, my heart has been broken by men for a very long time, and in almost every relationship I've been in, there is something that they did that just totally, like, hurt my heart. And then it was like, you know, and that cycle just continues. But, like, the point of me saying this is, like, you know, being in these rooms and being surrounded by women, and whether it's domestic violence, whether it's cheating, whether they're the perpetrator or the victim, whether it's, like, emotional abuse, whether it's homelessness, whether it's, like, just dealing with hateful family members, dealing with, like, you know, maybe, you know, like, step parents or other in-law or whatever it is, like, you know, when I'm in these rooms, I'm hearing these people vulnerable stories and stuff like that. So it just, like, it's so hard to come to a place, like, I'm still pretty heartbroken, you know, like, it's getting better and better every single day. Like, I still think about my last relationship a lot, but at the same time, I'm starting to really, like, understand that I deserved better, because no matter what we were going through, he could have done something, he could have communicated, and, like, there's many times where I offered the out, like, knowing that he's not good at communicating, knowing that he doesn't want to be the one. There's many times where I'm like, okay, listen, dude, like, if you can't produce this, then okay. And obviously that was really hard because I didn't want to let go, but there was many times I gave that out. But anyways, I just I think about all these situations, and I'm like, God, I'm so grateful that you entered and you took away from me. You separated me from something that was no longer serving me. And whether or not he did that for my partner's sake, or he did it for my sake, or just all of us as a whole, like, it gets easier. And it's getting easier to where, because I have God, I don't need closure. It would be nice to have an adult conversation and be like, why did you do it this way? What were you thinking? Like, I mean, why? Like, the why is the biggest thing, right? Like, I don't care about a sorry. I don't care that, you know, I don't care that I'm, like, I mean, I could have, it doesn't matter. If I was in a relationship and I'm carrying the family financially, that's what I'm choosing to do. Money comes and money goes, and material things, yes, money is what we need, but money is not everything. Money is absolutely not everything. But it's just like, why? Like, why? Like, what are all, like, just cut the shit and, like, what is it? Like, what were you thinking? What is going on? Like, what was your, like, what was the point? You know what I'm saying? But those are the kind of things that I tried not to think about, and, you know, because those things make you crazy. It makes you fucking insane when you love somebody and they're cheating on you, or they're not being affectionate towards you, they're emotionally unavailable. Like, it makes you absolutely feel like shit. And it makes you feel like, why am I not enough? Why are you here in my life, taking up my air, taking up my time, if that's not what where you really want to be? Because I know for me, there's not a single time I've ever stayed somewhere that I didn't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I refuse to take up anybody's time if I don't really want to fucking be there. Like, and sometimes people don't like that. But if I know I absolutely have no business being there, and if I know I absolutely am not going to give you maybe the love that, and everyone deserves love, right? But if I know that I can't be the person to love you, if I know that I can't be the one to treat you right as a partner because I no longer feel like I need to be here, or because I feel like I don't want to be here, then I'm not going to fucking sit there and just, like, watch somebody suffer every day, like, questioning their own life on this planet because I refuse to give them the love or the attention they deserve. Like, I refuse to watch somebody cry and break down and you know, get on their hands and knees and do all the things just to, you know, provide that partnership for me, and not really have any good intentions being in that place. Like, I just can't do it. I absolutely cannot do it. That shit's fucking heartbreaking. I don't believe in using people. I don't believe in playing with people's feelings. I think that's the worst thing in the world, is betrayal. I think the worst thing you can do is, like, we were talking about, like, emotional cheating today, and, like, there's nothing worse than being in a relationship that is having some complications and your partner not having the courage, the strength, the respect, or the faithfulness to be able to work on their communication with you, no matter how long it takes, no matter how difficult it is. But for it to be easier for them to go talk to somebody else. So instead of them having to feel what they feel in the relationship, and instead of them having to hear what they're doing wrong, it's causing you ill will, it's easier for them to go talk to somebody who will stroke their ego and stroke their pride and give them what you are not giving because you're hurting in the relationship. Like, I don't think there's any, like, I mean, yes, physical cheating is also shitty, because then you feel like, okay, well, why did you want to have sex with that person? What is wrong with my body? Like, especially if you're, you know, you aren't withholding sex in a relationship, it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I here? Why do we lay together sometimes? Like, why are we in this if you don't like my body? Like, why are we in this if you're not who, you know, if I'm not who you yearn for? You know what I mean? Like, that is fucking painful too. But I don't think people understand emotionally cheating on somebody. Like, for me to be hurt and crying every single day, but then you to go, you know, fucking, you know, spit game at some other broad, you know what I'm saying? And fill this other broad's head up with some shit because we've already gone past that. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's too hard for you to nurture, you know, what, you know, all those kind of things. But that is inevitably what happens when couples don't go to therapy, or we're not picking people who are emotionally available. We're picking people who do not know. Like, I mean, and I should have already known, like, the way that, you know, people's previous relationships went, and how you know, the cause and effect of things, and the series of events that happened with past partners, and how they dealt with that, you know what I'm saying, or what PTSD, or what, you know, what invisible scars that verbal violence left, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's very difficult, like, you know. So, but I'm really grateful that God, however it manifested itself, I'm really grateful that that relationship was taken away from me, because there's no way I could be where I'm at today if I didn't step out and shake that shit off and be like, Lauren, you are broken, okay? Lauren, you are emotionally unstable because you are investing something into somebody who cannot reciprocate that for you right now. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you don't do. It doesn't matter what you look like. And it doesn't matter if you're willing to do anything in the bedroom. It doesn't matter what you're willing to buy them. It doesn't matter what you're willing to provide for them. It doesn't matter, because that person is also broken, and that person does not know how to deal. Okay? And I was never going to come to that conclusion in that headspace, because I was so distraught. I was so heartbroken. I just didn't understand why some of these things would keep coming up. I'm a completely different human than your previous relationship. And why? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? And it's just, this is why I say, like, I thank God for taking that relationship away from me. And not just so that I can be better, but because no matter how bad, whether that person wanted the relationship like I did or not, at some point, that person was absolutely not ready, and it was absolutely not fair. And but it's not fair to me either. It's not fair to me to be supporting a man who isn't willing to support himself. You know, it's not fair for me to be supporting another man's children if he's not willing to support me and mine. And that is just the reality of it, and there's no excuses to be made. But like, I was just thinking today while I'm in class, I'm listening, and I just think about like my other, like, just the women that I know right now, and the things I hear, and just as a woman, the things I have gone through, like the things that have broken my heart, the things that men have done to me, like, that have emotionally scarred me and emotionally bruised me and just like broken my heart over and over and over again, like, you know. And every single relationship I've been in, something has happened where I was betrayed. And whether it's emotional cheating, physical cheating, the disrespect, or literally just like taking care of somebody and them do, like, you know, them doing the absolute bare minimum. And like, things happen, people fall off, but there's a difference. There's a difference when people just, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. And like I said, I'm absolutely grateful that God took that away from me. I'm absolutely grateful that God took me out of that. I'm grateful for the vision and the perspective I have now because of God. I'm grateful for the perspective and the vision I have now because in life I literally lost everything. Like, the reality of the situation is, this man did not care that I was going to lose my home. This man did not care that this meant I was not going to be able to take care of my children. This man did not care that I was alone. This man did not care that, like, I didn't have anybody. Like, that's the reality of the situation. And that's not the first time that a man has not cared about what they are doing to me. That's not the first time that a man hasn't cared about what it's doing to like my kids. And you know what I'm saying? Like every single relationship I've been in, it has hurt the children and it has hurt me, right? Every single one, you know, not just the last one, because, you know, and I'm just grateful that God is, I'm grateful to have this chance to start over. I'm grateful to have the I mean, starting over, like, I mean, I could have lost everything and not be able to start over. I could be in a tent. I could be in a different program. I could be jumping couch to couch. I could have also decided that I was going to continue to lead life in my body. And even if I don't think I'm something that somebody wants right now, there's definitely a house I could have stayed at. There's definitely a couch I could have stayed on. There's definitely drugs that could have been given to me for free if I wanted. There's definitely alcohol that would be provided. There's definitely a couch and a bed. There is somebody who would take me in if I wanted to accept less, if I was willing to give up on my life, and if I was willing to go to the bottom and just take the loss as the final destination of my life. And I'm not willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am so grateful that God gave me the vision I have so that I can be grateful, and so that, like, and just showing me that I do have family that cares. I do have friends that care. And so, like, they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not alone. And even though there's a lot of times I felt alone, I'm not alone. And that's what, you know, going through all this has shown me, is that I'm not alone, and there are people who love me, there are people who care about me. And even though I might have more struggles or more like boundaries or barriers, then, you know what I'm saying, everything in my life is put in place right now to help rebuild me, to help reassure me, and to, you know, that, Lauren, you are a strong woman. Lauren, you are courageous. You are brave. You are smart. You are loving. You are affectionate. You are a good friend. You're a great mother. You're adventurous. You're fun. You're funny. And you have so much to offer this world. You cannot let a circumstance be, what was it that it was on the fucking Facebook? It said, oh gosh, I have to remember. But basically, this I can't let this circumstance define me. And all of this that's gone on has just, and it didn't break me. It didn't break me. Like, I may have had a mental breakdown, but even in that mental breakdown, when I was hearing all this crazy shit, and I'm doing what I think I need to do to protect my kids, and I'm doing what I think I need to do to protect this man that's no longer here, like, I still stuck to my authentic self. I still fought like crazy. I was not going to allow anyone I loved to be hurt, and I wasn't going to keep quiet about it. And even though those, you know, those auditory hallucinations and you know, as I've gone through therapy, like these deepest fears and just, you know, all the pain manifested, and you know, the lack of being in touch with reality and not wanting to face reality, it, like, I still, like, I fought and I survived, excuse me, and I made it out. I made it out on the other side, and I'm all here. Like, I'm absolutely all here, and I'm loved, and I'm even more supported, and I'm able to take all these things, and I'm able to help the next mom. I'm able to help the next woman. I'm able to help the next teen girl. I'm able to help the next, like, child, like, at every stage of life that a woman, and I can, I mean, and this goes, I'm sure, for men too. Like, I'm sure there's men that can identify with my story, but for the sake of just talking about my own gender, and being in a woman's position, that these are, you know, things that we go through that we can identify and relate to in each other. As a child, I can relate to a child. I can relate to the things that go on when you're a child and how it makes you feel. As a teenager, there are things that I can relate to that go on that I can understand how they feel. As a young woman, you know what I'm saying, as a mother, you know, as an adult, like as a, you know, there's so many different parts of life that I can relate to. And that's, you know, that's the greatest gift, is that I'm like, I mean, I can encourage, like, it's really hard, man, because I'm sure all of us women just want a man to stay. They want a man to treat us right. We want a man to put in what we put in. Like, I mean, because we want to be affectionate. We want to love on somebody. But I want to be loved on. I want someone to protect me. I want someone to want to see me and my kids together. I want someone to see me and my kids, like, doing things. Like, I want someone to want me to be able to be either in a career, in a mom, or at a stay-at-home mom, whatever. Like, I want someone to see me at my, like, I want someone to want the best for me. And I want someone to want to participate in helping me create that and sustain that. And I want that thing for the other person, you know? And so, you know, I mean, I just, like, it just hurts my heart when I hear these things, because God, relationships are hard. Relationships are distracting. Relationships can be hard. And they're not bad. Like, relationships can be great. You know, if you found the right, you know, the right person, and if you've, you know, you're willing to go to the same lengths that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're willing to put in what you're expecting of the other person as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, relationships are not bad. But when you go through life and you have a lot of trauma, and, you know, and it just, and if you're left distraught, one relationship after the other, picking the wrong, you know, it's just, we forget to stand up for ourselves. We forget that we don't have to accept less. You know, and we can make all the excuses in the world of why they did it and why we understand, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If someone just cannot provide something for you, they just can't. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Because then now that person, because either there are two different sides. There are people who feel guilt and shame, and who absolutely you will never see them again. You will never talk to them again. And that will be another relationship that they suppress, that they don't ever want to relive, you know, because they can't handle it. Or, you know, you might be that person who, now you're doing good, and that person might come creep in. Who's to say? You know, but I just know that I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that it gets better every day. I'm grateful that I can be grateful for not being in that relationship anymore. Like, and not out in a hateful way, not in a shade, like, not in a, like, I still love that human being. I hope they are well. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And it's not my business to know what's going on in their life. It's not my business to know, you know, it's not my business to know why. It's not. Like, I've let that shit go. And I'm grateful that I can be in that place today, because it really just tore me apart. It was hurtful. It was painful. It really was. And so to be grateful, to be in a place where I'm like, oh God, I'm so grateful that God took me out of that, because it wasn't doing anything for me. And I couldn't do anything for myself. And I needed, like, in order for me to be the best, either drug and alcohol counselor or therapist or case manager, peer support, wherever this season of my life takes me career-wise, which I know it's going to be in programs like St. John's, or it's going to be in hospitals, or it's going to be in rehabs, or I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm going to be somewhere where I'm going to be able to talk to women and talk to children, and, you know, and I'm going to be able to meet them where they're at, and I'm going to be able to support them and help encourage them, and help them heal and help them get the resources and be able to get to a place where they want to heal themselves. And that's all I can say about that. So at St. Lauren 57, be safe and be kind.